She messed it up. Remember? Remember? Oh, what happened to your nun costume?
It's too hot. But he's still wearing the fishnets. Because I wasn't taking them off. One extra step I want.
They might rip if you do.
It's just funny.
Why do you cry? Are you mad?
No, I was just.
Fishnets rip. I'm not even trying to make a joke. Because he eats me not good. No, I don't know. I'm supposed to work, so I wasn't supposed to go out, and I just called this email 10 minutes ago, so I can go out.
I don't even know what it is.
What should I be Abby?
But I shall ponder.
And maybe you broke my knee.
I'll ponder.
I'm going to every single house I could possibly reach in mind. All right, Jim. This will be my last year.
This is a lovely note.
What is that?
It sounds like a dying printer.
It's better than
Well, it would have been if you weren't then making that sound loudly. So, let's take a look, shall we? We're going to just do a quick reminder. Kingdom Animalia. Are complex, multicellular, eukaryotic organisms. Regardless of what animal you're talking about, whether you're talking about a cat or dog or a human or a porpoise or an insect, or a spider, they all have in common that they start out as a single cell. Call this a zygote. And grow by cellular reproduction via what process again? Is that true? Is meiosis how we grow from one cell into many cells? No, mitosis. Meiosis is important, but it's how we produce which types of cells? Sex cells, right? Every other cell, all of your normal cells, all of your somatic cells are produced via mitosis. And if we recall, in mitosis, we start with a parent cell, right? Oh, sure. How's that?
Can I turn the light off?
Sure.
Yeah. I can't see.
It takes a minute to read about this.
You just see the board.
Yeah, I don't know that the light off thing is helpful, but hey, you guys do you. What do I look like? You say so. Okay. I told you that.
I know, that's what I said.
There you go.
I'm surprised you didn't
I forgot. I slept in this morning. Usually I get up between 4:30 and 5, and this morning I got up at like 7. Yeah. Fantastic Mr. Fox. So a kid told us she looked like she was, quote, on her way to make a sperm donation, which she said she found upsetting. Anyway, I don't quite know what to make of that, but yeah, right? Anyway. You know what? Can we just not get into that? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. No, this is great. Yeah, another red letter moment for my YouTube channel there. But anyway, I didn't say it. I don't know. You'll have to ask those people. No, I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. Have you all seen that movie? It's a wonderful film, I think. It's a good one. It's a good film. So now the thing to note is that the original cell, all of the future cells are all what? Yeah, which means that they are all clones. What's it mean to be a clone? Yeah, specifically, what is exactly the same in them? The DNA. Very good. So all of the cells, thank you, in an animal contain identical DNA to one another. Now that's noteworthy because if all of the cells contain identical DNA to one another, what do we say the DNA is? Yeah, it's chromosomes, absolutely. It's deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a big polymer. It's a chain of coded information. But what does it contain? What's the DNA for? Yeah. On how to build the structures of the cell, right? How to build all those proteins. We have the one gene, one polypeptide theory, which basically says that every gene codes for a sequence of amino acids, a protein.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Can you not hear that?
Is that in my room?
Yeah.
Do you need to go yell at them? Do you get reason or is that across the hall? I'm trying to teach a class.
I wasn't angry though.
You want me more angry?
Isn't Naya and Carly in there?
I would
The
be.
nice people. What, when they start yelling?
Is it Naya? Say it's from me.
Nice.
Who is it?
Quiet. Now you're being a distraction. All right, so all the cells in an animal contain identical DNA to one another, but if DNA is the code on how to build and run a cell, that seems contradictory, because what do we know is true about all your cells? Yeah, all good points. I want to say this one because it was close enough that I could actually hear it. I'm sure everything you guys said was great. What'd you say? They all do different things, and they all look different. Your skin cells don't look a whole lot like your bone cells, that don't look a whole lot like your muscle cells, that don't look a whole lot like any of your other cells. How can they have the same instructions but do different things? Okay, they're located differently. That's a piece of it, absolutely.
Because of and the one where they switch crossing over.
That's in meiosis, which is not what's happening here where you're getting cells made. So that would mean they wouldn't be perfect clones, but they are perfect clones. All your cells have the same DNA, but good memory for that. But that doesn't explain this. No, what do you think?
I was gonna say that we did for different reasons. You use the bone one and the skin one. Each of those carry a different function.
Yeah, an animal needs cells to do different functions for sure, right? Absolutely, we need our cells to have different functions because your skin cells would not be very useful if they were super hard and rigid, right? They need to be flexible, but your bones would be not very effective if they were that. Your muscle cells need to contract when exposed to electricity, but your brain needs to not do that. It needs to send signals and process information. So they have to be different for sure. How can they be different if they have the same blueprint? The which?
The bottom of their chromosome for
No, all the same. They're clones, so they have the exact same chromosomes. And the answer is that the instructions in the chromosomes are complex enough that they include what we call an element of epigenetics. All right? So, even though each cell has the full genome, each cell genome is just the DNA, expresses, i.e. uses, different regions of the genome. I.e., they use different genes. I'll give you a pause. So in animals, some cells, sort of the purpose of reproducing to make new cells. Does anyone know what we call these ones? Stem cells. So you have cells inside your body, and animals all have cells inside their body whose purpose is actually to just keep reproducing. But most cells are specialized. What do we mean when we say that cells are specialized?
They're better at doing certain things than other cells.
That's right. That's exactly what you were talking about earlier. They're designed to do different things. They have different tasks. So, when you make new skin cells, it's actually not your skin cells that are reproducing. You have cells underneath your dermis, underneath your skin layer, that are stem cells. Their job is to produce new skin cells. Your skin cells themselves are no longer designed for reproduction, and in fact, we don't want them to reproduce because they get exposed to UV radiation and stuff, and their DNA might get damaged. We want them to live, do their job, and die. And they get replaced with new cells that are from semi-specialized stem cells whose job is to reproduce to form... I'll take that. Thank you. Where did I leave it?
Up on the copy of it.
As one does. Thank you so much.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is Joe's, and I'm pretty sure...
I mean, it's Tim's, to be clear. I didn't...
Is it?
Yeah, no, I did not actually put a sticker of myself on my computer. That is,
I didn't even, to be
yeah,
honest, I
that
just
is-
saw the coding.
that
and
is
I was
Tim's
like,
doing, but
Okay, but
but-
did you have it?
I use it, yeah, because mine, Shannon Van Balen, used it the year she was here, and then she just took it with her.
Oh.
And I didn't care, because I was like, whatever, I just use my own. But now I
Oh.
can't print from my own, so I use Tim's for printing.
So she technically has yours?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I don't want to make a big deal about it, so I
No.
just, yeah.
No, that's funny. Okay, yeah, no, it was upstairs.
So now I have
don't think
Tim's.
this is supposed
So one
to
day
be-
Tim will have to steal yours, and then you can steal Tom's, and then Tom can steal, and we'll just work our way through the building,
Okay, sounds good.
where because of me, nobody will own their own computer.
Until someone because of Shannon.
Well, I could have done something about it. I'm going to say me. She's not here. It's not her problem, right?
I mean, I can get it back from her.
No, it's fine. I'm sure she's more than personalized it by now.
Probably.
She probably has a sticker of me on it, too, I'd imagine.
Oh, probably.
Anyway.
But
Ambiance.
quote unquote cozy.
It was on Savannah's desk, or where Brendan is.
Guys, I'm really glad that we're talking about the candle and all, but can we get back here?
Yeah.
And yet. So most cells are specialized, i.e., they use portions of the DNA. I'm going to say the genome. To develop into cells that serve specific functions. The study of what genes are turned on and what genes are turned off in any given cell is called epigenetics. It's not the study of what genes you have, it's the study of what genes a given cell is using. Epigenetics, which is a really interesting field of study. But it's obvious if you take a step back. If your red blood cells have the same DNA as your muscle cells, something must be going on that makes them different. And what's going on is that they both have the instructions to make red blood cells and they both have the instructions to make muscle cells. And there is an element in control of, in this cell, these are the genes we're going to use. Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of tie into eukaryotic evolution?
Yeah, absolutely it does. That was a good observation. It's good. This should remind us of the four major tissue types in humans. I'm going to say mammals. How about it? What's one of the major tissue types in mammals? Muscle. Good. Muscle cells contain... Sorry? We're going to talk about muscle cells first, but we'll get there. Like, it's a good answer. It's just like, we're talking about this right now, but we'll get there. This is good. You're ahead of the game. That's good. I'm always behind the game. So between us, we'll be right in the middle. So muscle cells contain long filaments.
What are filaments?
A filament is just a way of saying like a thin wire. So long filaments of proteins called actin and myosin. These can contract and expand. If you take grade 12 biology, we'll actually go, if I don't run out of time, last time I ran out of time and I cut this lesson, but usually I don't, we'll actually learn how this works. It works by a process called... This one?
Yeah.
No. No, I do that. Sometimes I teach this lesson in like second semester even.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It'd be weird if I was like, all right, animal systems tomorrow, guys, everyone dress up. That'd be weird, right?
No, because like... Okay.
Yeah. Animal systems. We're focused.
I don't get it.
You shouldn't get embarrassed. You got nothing to be embarrassed about. So what's your question? In this unit. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're an animal. You're all animals. You're a bunch of animals.
This is where we dissect.
Actually, no, she's an insect. Get it?
Yep.
How long is this unit?
This is our longest unit. Sometimes I even do 2 tests in this unit so it doesn't get too long.
So like when I come back, will I still be on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. This is the unit I spend by far the longest on because I think it's the one people tend. If you guys aren't into it, like we'll move on. But it tends to be that this is the unit that people are really into. And so it tends to be the unit where I'm happy to put the most time. But again, whenever I teach this course, I always adjust to, I cover the whole curriculum, but I try to put our focus on what people find interesting. Like I try to make it,
I'm just trying to do everything for health.
Yeah. So they can contract and expand. It's kind of cool. It literally looks like this, where you've got this filament here that has these little kind of striations there. This would be, yeah, sure. And then you've got another that has these kind of things here, and they can move against each other. So they can go like that, and then potentially this can slide this way and that can slide that way to contract, and then they can slide back to expand. Does that make sense? Actin and myosin. So this would be a muscle at rest. You probably know that when your muscles are at rest, they're expanded. It's contracting a muscle that requires energy, right? Left to their own, they are kind of loose. They go. So there's the muscle at rest. And then through a process called cross-bridge cycling, these can move against each other like this so that they contract into a shorter length. So all muscles do is they get shorter. That's all a muscle does. But that's actually a tremendously important thing, because if you get shorter, like that, you can move. Because if you take a muscle and you stick it to a piece of bone here, and then you put it across a joint and stick it to a piece of bone there, if you make it shorter, what has to happen to that joint? It's got to go like this. And then you can put another muscle here that comes around this way, and if you shorten that one, what has to happen to this joint? Well, now if we pull down here, it's got to go like that. And so before you know it, using nothing but these cells, you put big groups of them together to form individual muscles, and you can now move stuff. Does that make sense? So, muscles are bundles of these contractile cells. What does contractile mean? Yeah, able to contract, able to shrink. Contractile just means able to contract. There's two main types in mammal anatomy, mammalian anatomy. Does anyone know what type they are?
I know one of them's in the heart.
Actually, you know what? Since you mentioned that, we'll even say there's three main types. I wasn't going to go there yet, but that's cool. Yeah, one of them is what we call cardiac muscle. And that is found in the heart. Second main type?
I know.
Okay, go.
Skeletal.
Very good. Skeletal or skeletal, very good. These move the body. So they are connected to your skeleton so that when they contract, they make your skeleton move. Right? And they always come, you have lots of them, hundreds of them, but they come in pairs, right? So across any joint, there's got to be at least two muscles, one to pull across the joint this way and one to pull across the joint that way. Obviously, some of your joints have many muscles and can move in much more complicated ways, right? Your shoulder is a very complicated set of muscles. Your wrist is a very complicated set of muscles. Your fingers have several muscles going to all around them, which are in the forearm, but which then have tendons that come down here and can pull on your fingers, right? Like I'm sure you know this, right? But when you're moving your fingers, there's not the muscle in the fingers themselves that you're moving unless you're moving the very tip of it. What you're actually pulling on is these muscles here, right? So when you pull your fingers down, it's down here that's flexing. You can feel it, right? And when you lift your fingers up, it's up here that's flexing. You can feel that, right? So try that. Move your fingers around and you can feel the individual muscles contracting and expanding here in your forearm, both above and below, right? This is why people have really strong hands have big forearms, because the actual muscles that move the hands are in the forearms. My buddy Chris's dad, Pete Lowen, he has forearms that are genuinely bigger than my thighs. Like, I've never seen anything like it in the world. But the first time that man ever shook my hand, I was like sore for like 2 weeks. He was like, "Oh, Joe, nice to meet you." And then proceeded to like crush every bone in my hand into like a gelatinous goo. You guys see the forearms on this guy. He's got strong hands. He's a farmer, right? So cardiac muscle is in the heart. It causes it to beat. Skeletal muscle moves the body. And then smooth muscle, so-called, smooth muscle is ring-shaped, and it's found in the alimentary canal, which is, okay, you know what? We'll come to that language later. It's found in your digestive tract. In other words, your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, all of that is made of smooth muscle, which is ring-shaped, and it's designed that because it's ring-shaped, when the muscle contracts, what's it look like? It squeezes shut. So these squeeze. And they also make up all of your sphincter valves. So these are the valves that control entrance into the stomach, exit from the stomach, and the anus, right? Like all of the things that control the flow of material through your digestive tract is controlled by smooth muscle. Sorry?
With the rings, very nice.
Thank you. Your affirmation means everything to me.
I bet it does.
No, can I tell you? I'm aware I said that with a sarcastic tone of voice, making it sound like I didn't mean that, but the truth is it actually does matter to me. In other words, I don't care what you guys think of me like as a human being. If you're like, "Hey, Orlando, he's a real prick, I can't stand him," I'm like, whatever, you're probably right, that's fair. But I care what you think of me as a teacher, because if you're like, "Hey, Orlando's an idiot and I don't learn anything from him," well, that reflects on what I've chosen to do as a career and what I've chosen to do with my life. So what you think of me as a teacher is actually very important to me. Now that still comes with the caveat that some kid who shows up late for class 30 minutes every day and then goes to sleep and refuses to pay attention is like, "Orlando's an idiot, I don't learn anything in this class." I take that a little less seriously maybe, but you know what I mean? I know what you guys think of me as a teacher matters to me a great deal. Because in the end, who's the experts on teaching? Students, the people who learn from them, really, right? When and to be clear, every teacher isn't going to be your cup of tea, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But certainly I would hope that, if somebody was like, "Orlando doesn't seem like he cares, or he's not trying, or he's, did Orlando get hit on the head? Is he suffering brain damage?" That would reflect on how I felt about myself, absolutely. Yeah. I would love to. How's that? What's that? Well, to be clear, I'm also at peace with that. If you're a high school teacher and you can't handle 16-year-olds saying awful things about you, you need a different career. Because they're gonna. That's how it goes. Yeah.
So for each one of the main types, you put a psychotic into your body, so smooth muscle is just known for its squeezes.
Yeah, that's right. That's the purpose it serves. So it's designed, it has evolved to form these ring-like structures that contract. Yeah. Yep. Did I see a hand? I saw a hand. Okay, go. Valves. Sorry, I'll try that again. In retrospect, that does look like it says roll raise. Much better. C+. All right. So that's muscle cell. We'll get more into muscles when we look at specific systems. We don't normally in this course look at much in the musculoskeletal system, so we won't look at much skeletal muscle, but we're going to look at the digestive system, which is full of smooth muscle, and we're going to look a lot at your cardiovascular system, which is full of both. The heart itself, of both cardiac muscle, obviously the heart itself, and then your arteries are all surrounded by smooth muscle. So, yeah. Not all. That's not true, but in key places. How's that? Not too bad? Okay. The second type of tissue, we have muscle tissue. We also have, and you mentioned cartilage, which is absolutely an example of a type of tissue, but it's going to fall into a broader category of connective tissue. Boy, this is just a catch-all. This is a broad category. This is the most broad category.
Bro, you're gonna make us get a quiz.
It's true.
You know it's true.
You just put the idea in his head. He wasn't even thinking about it.
Guys, the idea is always in my head.
Well, then y'all better get to studying.
Oh, don't play.
It's Friday.
Can I do the quiz from like last time?
Mondays
No.
do exist.
Who's to say I won't give you a quiz 5 minutes from now? I reserve the right.
Just give her.
I reserve the right. It'd be a little weird to give you a quiz when we're doing the first lesson of a unit. But if I was like, everyone close your book. What are the 3 types of muscle tissue? I can do that. Try and stop me. But that'd be a little weird, right?
Grade 10 though.
It'd be a little weird. So cells that hold things together. But also cells that carry and transport things. So, as an example, cartilage, which now I have to cartilage cells, which we call chondrocytes. But interestingly, we said that carry things around things too. That's a terrible color choice. I apologize. I'm gonna.
Miss Orlando, do you have any piercings?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
What about tattoos?
No.
I feel
No.
like you could pull off a nose ring.
I could pull off anything. Look at me. But it's a choice. No, can I tell you something? So we'll do tattoos first. First of all, I'm not a tattoo guy. I don't get it. But like, having said that, if you do, that's great. Like, good on you. I don't get it. I don't really like. I don't. And my thing is like, I can't imagine I guess my kids, my wife. Outside of that, I can't imagine something. I'm like, I'm probably going to feel the same way about this in 20 years. You know what I mean? I just right like. Wife and kids, I guess. But do I need like a tattoo of my wife and kids? I see them every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So like, maybe if one of them passed away or something, I don't know, but I just can't see it. And then the rest of it, then there's the aesthetic piece. And I don't get that either, but I will say this. I think like, somebody's like real jacked and they got tattoos, you're like, no, it's whatever, that makes sense. Or somebody's like super skinny and they have tattoos, you're kind of like, yeah, that works. Or if somebody's real big and heavy and has tattoos, you're like, that kind of looks... But if you're just kind of like vaguely dumpy and have tattoos, I don't know. I just don't think it was... So I don't think my body type is very complimentary to it. I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't get it. Sure. No, listen. It's your body. It's your choice. So if you want to put ink inside of it and be like One Direction forever, like, don't let me stop you. Like maybe like that or something. Like, hey, go nuts. Like, don't let me stop you. But I don't know. I'm and then for piercings, I just kind of think like, hi, how are you? To me, it's like, I don't necessarily enjoy pain or discomfort. Like, whatever, I can tolerate it. But being like, hey, jab me with a sharp thing to put a hole in my body, normally that's considered assault, right? If somebody jabs you with a metal object and now there's a hole in your body where there didn't used to be a hole in your body. So I just think the idea of paying somebody to assault me seems weird to me, you know? And then you got to keep that thing clean, and that's like, and then you got choices to make. I don't get it. But again, that's me. And your body is your body, and you should do with it what you like, and you should not care what any 42-year-old man thinks you should do with your body, or 52-year-old man, or 62-year-old man. You know? Like, your body belongs to you, and you should do with it whatever you please. You know? That's what I think.
I've gone multiple piercings, but I let them all close up because I'm irresponsible with them.
Well, that's the other thing to me is if I paid somebody to assault me and jab a hole in my body, thank you so much.
Wait, Mr. Orlando,
Yeah.
what's that?
Oh, they've been lovely. Oh, God bless you. And then what are you working on?
Nothing.
Oh, are you just being adorable and wonderful?
My lecture was canceled because the house flooded.
Oh, did it really? Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I have Timbits for everybody. It's only a 20 pack because I did not expect this class to have this
I
many
know,
people.
I'm popular.
I'll
Biology
put
is
them
popular.
Up here.
You're the best.
Whenever Mr. Orlando says it's fine, you can grab them and then.
Oh, God bless you. That is so sweet. May I?
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That is so considerate.
Thank you.
I think there's a reason I liked you more than my current students. I've been trying to figure out why did I like her so much more than you guys? And then she goes and shows me. Right? Look at that. I'm just kidding. I don't like any of you.
She's gonna be the only one bringing you stuff. A Lego one.
Sorry?
So she's gonna be the only one bringing you wow.
Listen, all you need is one. But you guys brought you guys something too, because she's a real sweetheart. Look at that. What a delightful young lady. Sorry? Yeah, she's a Brock. And doing quite well. So we said that cartilage is an example. And we call the cells that produce cartilage chondrocytes. Some of it connective tissue, some of it different types. We'll talk about that. And some of it muscle, of course, right? Like that's where all of your big structures are a mixture of a lot of different tissue types, right? Like your face is full of muscle. It's also full of connective tissue that holds everything together. So cartilage, chondrocytes, but it's also full of different types we'll talk about. Yeah.
Is that an R beside the O?
Yes. By the way, does everyone know that when you see cyte, C-Y-T-E, that means cell? Cytoplasm, cell plasm, chondrocyte, cartilage cell. Yeah, cyte means cell. It's the Latin word for cell. So your blood cells are considered connective tissue, which always seems a little weird to me, but there it is. Tendons. Does everyone know what a tendon is? What's a tendon do?
I have an idea.
It like pulls
Like a chicken bone.
most and that kind of muscle.
Well, it's what connects your muscles to.
Oh yeah.
Isn't a tendon like a band?
Yeah. So if you feel, look here, feel up here. Ready? Move your fingers. You will feel your tendons moving. The muscles that move your fingers are here. So how do we get this muscle contracting to move this finger? Why do I point my middle? As you all give me the middle finger. If you're all to give me the middle finger, how do we take motion here and turn it into motion there? And the answer is you need a wire, right? Like if you were building it with a machine, you'd get a piece of like aircraft wire, like steel wire, right? In your body, we use tendons, and you can feel them move. Yeah.
Aren't all of your fingers on one, and that's why you put certain ones down at the same time?
They're not all on one, but most of your fingers share a muscle with another finger.
Okay.
Yes. So there's many muscles that control your finger motion, but it's not the case that each of your fingers has its own, which is why when you move one finger, the others will inevitably move a little bit too, unless you really concentrate, right? You could train yourself to keep the others still, but that would actually require coordinating a lot of muscles working together. Naturally, they're going to move with each other to some extent. Yeah. Freaks of nature like that. Absolute mutations. Their ligaments and muscles are just formed differently. I don't know much. I don't know much about it.
What just happened?
Just weird hand stuff. Those weird. Stop! God. Okay, just stop. All right, you're freaking me out. But yeah, they just have different shaped joints and different muscle insertions and configurations. Tendons connect muscles to bones. What do we call something that connects two muscles to each other? Ligaments. So tendons and ligaments. These are all examples of connective tissue. There's many more. We're going to keep connective tissue short because it's kind of the case that if something doesn't fit into another category, normally I would have put this as the fourth thing, but he gave me it and I want to run with it. But yeah, ligaments. That might be an I, actually. I should look that up, but we'll come back to it. Our third example, types of cells.
That's why you never ever write it in. Isn't it ETC, etc.?
Are you trying to say etc.?
Yeah, how do you like put it in short form?
That's the short form.
Yeah, I was right. I never ever write it because I hate it.
Does anyone know what etc. means?
I swear we've gone over this and I absolutely
Nope, that's it est. Etc. is and other things.
I hate
Latin.
Oh my!
Latin. Oh my god! The Romans again! Ugh.
It's just everything's
Anyway.
always Latin. Everything's Latin.
I don't know what to tell you.
I have to have everything.
I don't know what to tell you. Those Romans, they got around. They did. They got around. It was like, think like you can go like to the far like Eastern Europe and find all things built by the Romans, and then you can go all the way to the friggin' United Kingdom and find roads built by the Romans. They got around. They were effective. They were. Did you just call my ancestors like a virus? I guess I did call you a freaky mutant, so things we're even now. Okay, we're good. We're all mutants, to be clear. Every one of your traits is a mutation. Well, hate to tell you. What's epithelial tissue? Skin is part connective tissue, part epithelial tissue. Absolutely. It is protective. So these are tough cells designed for protection. Sure, absolutely. Your bone, you have osteocytes, so there are cells in your bone, but then as they grow, they die and they ossify. So they're designed to grow, build up a thick layer of calcium carbonate, basically build up rock, and then die, so they sort of grow into their shape. Yeah.
So is this a tissue that's around your organs and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. This surrounds your organs. So, for example, you have a layer of tissue around your heart called the pericardium that protects it. That is epithelial tissue. It's basically anywhere your body might come into contact with the outside world. There's a layer, so it surrounds your organs and other, well, just your organs is fine. Examples would include outer layer of skin, so your epidermis. Is everyone comfortable with epidermis as the outer layer of skin?
And that's why the part under the epidermis is just the nerve.
That's right. Yep. And that's connective tissue. Very good. The pericardium, the blood-brain barrier, etc.
It goes around your brain.
Is there brain?
You have a thick layer of, you have a whole network of things whose job is to prevent the blood from the rest of your body going directly into your brain and taking anything with it. So there's a whole system of filtration that separates your brain from the rest of your body to protect it. It is good. There's Timbits for you. You guys, if you want to pass those around or come and get them, or how should we handle that? I can pass them out when we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get gloves. Your epithelial tissue is also the lining to your digestive tract. That alimentary canal again.
Are we going to go into depth about the digestive system?
Yeah. So even just like if you think of like the skin that makes up the inside of your mouth, that texture of skin that you'll find at also mucous membranes. Which are like all the places where those inner like systems come in contact with the outer systems, like the anus, but also the ureter, right? Like all these places where the outside of the body comes into contact with the inside of the body, the inside of the body comes into contact with the outside world. They're always surrounded by epithelial tissue to protect it. Yeah.
Is the epithelial tissue, like the epidermis, the same tissue as what happens when you like calcium?
You're developing more epithelial tissue. Exactly right.
So this tissue is like this really adapted.
Yeah, your body has evolved the ability for places that are in frequent contact, like lots of friction, lots of potential damage. Your body will actually thicken the layers of epithelium there. So that's how you can get calluses if you play guitar. It's how your feet. It's how you can see somebody who's worked with their hands for a living and they have thick just thick skin on their hands versus people who haven't, right? Yeah. What's the fourth type of tissue? Yeah, very good. Nervous tissues, good. It's very good.
I was stressing, but I just
Wait.
It's because I can't see and I'll wear my glasses.
Your brain is made mainly of nervous tissue, but they're all throughout your body because your brain has to communicate with your whole body.
Just a question. If one person were to be chewing gum
Okay.
and then shares it with another person,
Okay. They've made out.
how?
Was that your question?
Yeah.
Technically, I think technically they've made out. Was that your question?
Why? What
Okay.
happened?
And I was like, how do you know what that tastes like? That's what I said. And then obviously,
Guys, some things are private.
she just
Some things are
She
private.
said
You don't
so.
ask. Listen, it is literally the expression you don't kiss and tell. Right? You've heard this before?
But
Likewise,
that's why.
one doesn't share gum and tell.
That's why.
Right?
I
Like
asked-
that's
why
just.
I asked general.
And then you thought a good next step would be open this up to the class. Aiden, for shame. Can we all look and point a finger at Aiden? Can we all do it? Let's all look and point a finger. Tisk tisk. We don't shame people. We don't shame people, Aiden.
She already said it.
Yeah, to you privately.
No.
Some things are private. Guys, look at me. Look at me.
Oh my God.
Look at me.
You know what this
Old man rant.
Question on the test.
Maybe. Old man rant. Listen. I grew up in an era when we didn't have the internet. There was no social media. Just shut up. I know I'm old. I'm saying, but here's this. Having said that, not everything needs to be public. Some things can be private, right?
Aiden likes making my information.
Yeah. Some things are private. So just because somebody shares something with you doesn't mean that you then need to share it with everyone. But also, just because you experienced something doesn't mean you need to share it with everyone. Do you know? No, I know. I'm not after. No, you're good. This is what I'm saying. In other words, we should live in a world where you might want to tell a friend, hey, this thing happened. And that doesn't necessarily mean you want to tell the universe that this thing happened. Do you see what I'm saying? Privacy.
I never.
And then 4 seconds later, like,
Never
well,
said
this
her
one
name.
over here.
Never said her name.
Anyway, yeah.
If sharing gum is like me, how does sharing water work? You know?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Can you
Depends on how you're
guys?
Well, like, to be clear, what do you mean by sharing water? Because if you mean here's a cup and I take a sip and then I pass it to somebody else and they take a sip, that's one way of sharing water. And I would say that is nothing like making out. On the other hand, if I take a sip of water, then I put it into a cup and hand it to someone and they share that water, I would say that is very much like making out. Did that answer your question?
Baby birding it. Yeah, like
Sorry?
like mama bird to baby bird. That's what I was thinking.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just spin it the one in the nose.
That's a lot.
Okay, well, listen, yeah, I know. And what I'm saying is, that I don't think that's necessary.
Why?
Because we live in a world of cups and fountains. You know what I mean?
Warm water. Like body temperature.
Ew. I just love that you were saying.
Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this?
And this best part is this baby part.
If somebody wants warm water, we live in a world of we live in a world of fountains, cups, and microwaves? Question mark? Like
Sunlight?
kettles, sunlight, warm hands. Like really, a variety. Hello, how we doing? Yeah, you bet.
Oh no.
Guys, help yourself to some Timbits.
How's the recording?
I know, which one do you want? Yes, no?
I don't want any.
Oh, can I
That was the best. We're like, hi.
Okay, now what weren't we talking about? Oh, right, biology. Let's get back to it. I mean, technically. Anyway, all right.
Baby burning water.
I would like baby birding to be a phrase I never hear again, all right? Can we all look at me? Look at me.
Not like the verb to fork to mama bird. Because the baby bird doesn't really discuss the second period. Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's
Baby birding being the
Actually, this is all we started this conversation.
You know what, McKenna? It is a damn practice.
all right. So, cells that send and receive electrical signals, they use pumps, literally cellular pumps, to move charged ions to create electrical signals. We'll do a whole day on this, but
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm always
Am I not allowed to be excited to learn about the nervous system? No. Like, goodness.
they're found in the brain,
Okay. You're the only one.
the spinal cord. And sensors throughout the body. So, you take for granted that, like, I don't know, you touch something hot and your brain goes, oh, wow, that's hot. But of course, information has to get from the sensors in your hand, whose job it is to determine temperature, through your arm, down what we call nerves, to your spinal cord, up to your brain, where your brain goes, oh, wow, that's hot. And that signal has to be sent. If you touch something that's cold, same thing. If you touch something that feels sharp and pointy, there's a sensor that detects that, versus if something feels smooth, versus if it feels rough, versus if it feels wet or if it feels dry. You have detectors all over your body that can detect this information, and then they send it along bundles of nerves, which basically serve like wires, sending electrical signals through your body up to your brain, which then processes them. Yeah.
Is that why sometimes when you touch something hard, you don't like let go until after a little bit, because like your brain is still receiving signals, or is that just like me being dumb?
No, it's not you being dumb at all. Yeah, it depends. And then interestingly, depending on what part of your body touches something, alternately, if part of your body touches something, you actually have a set of signals that are designed to bypass your brain and go faster. We call them our reflexes. So in certain circumstances, you might burn yourself, and before you even notice that it's hot, your body has already moved. Both things can happen. And that's because your body has a whole set of systems involved in moving things around. Yeah.
I can't see the words behind her.
Yeah, this is why I've been like.
You.
Is that why also when you have to like touch it, you still feel the sensation?
Yeah, related to, for sure.
So then, you know how we can't like tell the difference between like when something's really cold or something is wet? Is that what you were talking about? Like, you know,
Can we not?
when you're like sitting on the grass, when you sit up and you're like, oh my butt's wet, but it's just cold. Like you can't tell the difference between when something's wet.
Yeah, I don't have a direct answer to that. I would say that like those things are related to each other, because one of the ways in which we sense that something is wet is that it tends to feel cooler than the ambient air around it. So that's one of the pieces of information your brain uses to determine that. Texture would be another one, but obviously, you know what I mean? I don't have a specific answer to that. But what I'd say is your brain is constantly trying to interpret a lot of signals coming in and determine what that means. And so misinterpreting it will absolutely happen. Did that answer your question at all? Because I don't know about the specific sensors involved in, for example, determining when we feel like we're wet. To give you a more specific answer than that. Yeah. And then here. Yeah.
What would kind of happen to sensors if like you have high pain tolerance for them?
So again, I don't know the specific answer to that, but I will say this is actually a really interesting academic study. You may have seen these things where you can go in the booth and you can get menstrual cramps, right? Have you seen this? Where like they'll hook you up and they'll give you. And of course, one of the things that this is useful for is it helps men experience what women experience when they're menstruating and what cramps feel like. But one of the things that I've read is actually really interesting is it also helps women experience that, in that the research of doing this has shown that women experience dramatically different levels of pain during menstruation. Some experiencing mild discomfort, some experiencing very mild discomfort, some experiencing truly excruciating pain. And that they said it's actually really instructive for women to realize that just because you can maybe go, oh, I'm getting menstrual cramps, but I can push on through the day and do just fine. That isn't necessarily every other woman's experience, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a higher tolerance for pain. You may just be experiencing less pain, and that's right. But the studies have also shown that not only do people experience different levels of pain, but pain tolerance is a real thing. Some people can experience pain and push through it, and some people experience a similar level of pain and find it debilitating. And that is interesting. And that isn't necessarily mental, right? It's not necessarily a question of just being like, oh, you just need to be tougher. There's likely a physical element to that too. It's complicated because your nervous system is profoundly complicated. So the weird thing about pain tolerance is it would be a combination of how much pain signal is being sent through your body, because more of that is going to lead to more pain. How sort of susceptible to that your brain is or whatever, how that physically causes your body to respond. But then also there's a mental element to it. There's a trained element to it, which is to say you can be tough and say, I'm going to push through this. And some people experience really debilitating pain, but force themselves to train themselves to go, I'm just going to have to deal with this, right? And some people don't, right? Like I remember the first shift I ever worked in a kitchen, and like in seconds you're starting to burn your hands, and I was like, right? And I was really, and the truth is a year later it actually wasn't less painful when you burn yourself or cut yourself, but I just kind of trained myself to be like, all right, I gotta keep going. I'm not going to complain about this. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. So it's very multifaceted. There's lots of things kind of playing together in that. Does that make sense? Was that an answer? Cool. Yeah.
So what tissues are found for like your eyes?
Your eyesight. So again, Perfect example, your eyes are a mixture of all the above. There's connective tissue just holding them together and like forming the clear lens. You have muscular tissue, which is responsible for dilating and expanding your pupil, right? So the actual opening of the iris to the actual retina, which is the sensor that detects the light at the back, which is nervous tissue. Then obviously the optic nerve goes down into the brain, which sends the signal, so that's nervous tissue. You have muscle tissue that is actually responsible for bending the lens. It squeezes the lens and causes its shape to change so that you can focus on things that are close to you or focus on things that are far away. You have muscles that are responsible for moving the eyes, right? You have nervous cells that are responsible for interpreting the signals coming from the eyes and turning that into an image in your brain that you can see things. Because, of course, all that's actually happening is your retina is being struck by light and it's producing electric signals. It's your brain that turns that into an image, right? And then you have another section of the brain that's responsible for controlling where the eyes move and where they point and where they focus, which is both conscious and subconscious. If you think about it right now, you can look here and you can focus on something close to you and move your eye there. And then you can shift your focus to something far away and you can watch that change. You can consciously control your focus, but it also will subconsciously control itself. So those huge amounts of different types of tissue interacting with each other in all of your organs, and the eyes are a great example of that. They're really complicated. Yeah.
And there's also like the layer on top that doesn't cause damage.
Exactly right. So then you've got the actual protective element, which is obviously epithelial tissue. So all of the above. Excellent question. Yeah.
You said you'd give us the bonus question.
I lied. It's a thing I do sometimes. But it's not for lack of love. I love you guys. I'm not going to get through this thing and give you a bonus question. Yeah.
Is that like the reason why like you can know that like how it's something you feel without actually touching it, like just looking at it?
Yeah, well, that's there is another example too. Of your brain is, the human brain is actually a very specific type of computer. For example, your brain is actually very bad at storing and retrieving information. You change it all the time. Eyewitness accounts are famously inaccurate. We morph and change things. Your brain is not very good at putting information in and retrieving it exactly as it was put in. Your brain's bad at that. But what your brain is incredibly good at, what it seems to have evolved to do, is recognize patterns. Exactly right. And so when your brain has experienced something, it has evolved to design to predict what similar situations will lead to similar outcomes. So given that that's how our brain works, that then means that it is constantly predicting, because you just take it for granted, but you see a person you've never seen before. You've never seen this person before, but you know they're a person. Because even though they are a shape that is unique to them and is not, you've never seen it before, you are able to track all the ways it's similar to human shape. Because if you met a dog that you'd never met before, you'd know it wasn't a person you'd never met before, right? Your brain is making all these calculations and saying, that's a person. You'll probably identify if they're male or female. You'll probably identify their race, their ethnicity, right? You will have a prediction. If you look at a person you've never seen before, you will have a prediction about what their voice sounds like before you ever hear them speak, right? You might be wrong, but more often than not, you'll be right. And if you think about it, that's crazy. You can see somebody from across a hall who you have never met, you've never interacted with, and you've got pretty good odds of having a sense of what they're going to sound like when they speak, including what language they speak, including probably what kind of slang they're going to use, all these things. Your brain is drawing all of that from a little bit of visual information, from a bit of light passing through a lens and going to your retina. That's crazy. That's really impressive stuff. And nobody ever taught you to do that. Nobody had to sit you down and say, now, when you see somebody coming, this is how we stereotype what we think they're going to be like. Your brain just does it, and it's pretty good at it. Is it perfect at it? No. Do we draw wrong conclusions all the time? The great weakness of the human brain is it finds patterns, even when they're not there. So the great strength of the human brain is that it finds patterns. The great weakness is that it finds patterns, and you have to watch out for that. And you have to think evolutionarily, it makes a lot of sense. If your brain goes, I've seen this before, that's dangerous, run. If you're right, and if you're living in the jungle, it prevents you from dying. If you're wrong, you take a little run, you get a little exercise. You can see how your brain has evolved to err on the side of trusting the pattern. Does that make sense? But in modern human society, this can be dangerous because we love to draw conclusions. This is where our predilection for conspiracy theories comes from. This is where our predilection for stereotyping comes from. This is where our predilection for making assumptions about other people's intentions come from. Our brain has evolved to make assumptions and then act on them. And we have to sort of train ourselves to not. That's a great question. Yeah.
So wouldn't that also affect like pain? Because like if you're looking at something and you think it's going to go really bad, then
For sure.
you assume it's
Absolutely.
so
Of course, right? And surely, like, we've all experienced secondhand pain before, right? Where you watch something, you know, the classic as a guy, you watch somebody get kind of huffed between the legs and like you feel it, right? Like you have even just hearing it described, you kind of feel it a little bit, right? And I've never experienced menstrual cramps, but I imagine that's similar, right? Like you hear about it and you can kind of picture what that feels like. We are pattern recognizers. Secondhand embarrassment, right? Something embarrassing happens to someone else. I specialize in first-hand embarrassment, but sometimes second-hand embarrassment. You know, self-deprecating comments are cute. Others deprecating comments come off as mean-spirited. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Thank you. Oh, it means everything to me. So these are the main types of cells. And then, of course, we also have the last type of major cell.
The body also produces. Gammy.
Which are? Sex cells.
Yeah, we did that was on a practice test.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, as we go through this, we're just going to remember that you have individual cells, that when you put a group of cells together, they produce tissues. That's a group of similar cells. So all of your skin cells together make skin tissue, right? You put different types of tissues together. The epithelial tissues of your skin, the connective tissues of your skin, you make organs. You put a group of organs together, you can make organ systems. And if you put all of those organ systems together, you've got yourself an individual, an organism, a living thing.
I'm so smart. Oh my god.
Look at this,
Thank you.
right? See?
That was crazy.
That was good,
Back to back to back.
right?
Wow.
LeBron James back here, look at that.
Oh. Wow.
Right?
James Jordan.
I don't feel like I'm equipped to say that.
There's a reason LeBron hasn't retired yet.
My instinct is to say Jordan. My instinct is to say Jordan, but I think like LeBron, they're very different, right?
Just a classic.
I think raw talent, it's hard to imagine somebody with more than Michael Jordan. Because you think like if Michael Jordan played in the 3-point era, would he learn to be a 3-point shooter? Boy, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Because he's specialized in those like mid fades, right? And so you think like it's not a big step to take 3 steps back and get real good at that. So I think, but man, both incredible. But again, I don't watch enough basketball to be authoritative. But I like basketball. All right. So listen, this is going to be a signpost that we come back to all the time when we talk about all the organ systems we're going to talk about in the human, is we want to be mindful that when we're talking about organs and we're talking about systems, we're really talking about groups of cells working together and doing a job, each of which is controlled by not only the genes they have, but which genes they use and which they don't, which they turn on and which they turn off. Cool? Yeah. Yeah, so when you get put under, there are chemicals that can cause your nervous cells to not function as they normally would, which then means that you don't experience sensation, you don't experience pain, you don't experience consciousness. Anesthesia,
That's what's gonna happen to me soon.
yeah. I have never been under a general anesthetic. Have you? You never done it before. Yeah.
So last year before one of our basketball games, my attendance was almost
Oh no.
And I had to go to the hospital and I was gonna get surgery. And as I was about to go in for surgery, like it just went away. Here right now. So
Oh wow. That's scary. Sorry? It looks very nice. How long did that take you, that whole thing?
Over 60 hours.
I bet.
Keep an exact count. The cape alone was probably
It looks great.
I accidentally sewed it inside out, so that didn't help.
I'm now realizing I've seen the thing you are.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But I have seen it before. I'm now. It's like a cartoon, right? Oh, adorable. I've never watched Adventure Time, but I'm aware of its existence.
yeah, I grew up on it. And then I also watched Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's such a good film. Yeah, that's good. You nailed it. Definitely nailed it. So Claire's boyfriend is going as the cousin, and he's got it. She's got like the sign for him, like the unaccompanied. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love homework by the end of the day. So catch me by the end of the day. They will. I'm not going home till they're all marked, so you can all have your grades, but I don't have any of them yet. How we doing, kiddo? I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you again for all your work back there. I appreciate it. Do you have a question? Guys, could somebody hit the lights for me?
I can hit it really quick.
Great. They're over there. Thank you very kindly.
For this one, it was salicylic acid and butanol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, octanol. So would it be named as octosalicycloate or what?
Octyl salicylate is good.
Is that-
Salicylate, yeah, that's good.
And also for the last one, I did this for the apple and pineapple.
Cool. Thanks. How we doing, kiddo?
I'm doing.
Anything you need?
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The lab. So when it says possible errors in your lab, is it specifically my lab or just possible?
Your lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if
And you might be everything was perfect and wonderful and it went great. I think there were no errors. That's fine.
Also